Hey, welcome back to the channel. It's awesome that you're tuning in, because in this video we're going to take a close look at the Pandora Saga, did I say correctly? The Pandora Saga DX. So basically this is like the fake of the DX version. We also have the original version, but this is like the cheap solution. We're going to take a close look how good it is and it's actually worth your money. To begin with, they already have like a typo. It needs to be Saga, but they said Saga. You know, like, it's kind of funny. But this is the 5.1, the Home Edition, green housing, and the Home Edition is basically what you're seeing over here. We also have a JAMA Edition that is specially made for arcade machines, but we're not going to review it, but also this one can be used on arcade machine with some cabling. I just wanted to check it out for you guys, what I'm going to get with the PCB quality, and of course the overall quality with the menu and all the other mumbo jumbo. Okay, so in this video we're going to put it in a case like this, simply because you can buy them like with the case complete and you can plug and play ready to go. But at this time I just wanted to check it out as a main board. I can just be honest, like, it was dirty cheap for me to buy. I have a couple of these things laying around, so I just wanted to see, is this like, say, Android box, but basically that is what it is, like an Android box. Is it worth picking this thing up? Is it worth like this Saga 5000, or is it just another crap box that you need to avoid? I know you can like upgraded at Pandora, or that's what they told me, so that's going to be interesting for another video. But for now, let's see how we're going to get plug and play. But plugging this thing in is going to be super easy. So I already like remove the old Pandora's box, and yeah, depending on what kind of casing you're having, you can see like we have one big gigantic gap here. This is one of my favorite cases, because it doesn't matter like how this thing looks or how the connections are aligned. You can just basically plug this thing in, screw it in, connect everything, and you're ready to go. I'll show you later on like how you do this. The connection over here, we do have like two USB, so you can basically hook up an extra controller. You can even set this thing to 4-player configuration with a USB hub. Pretty damn cool. Volume control, settings, VGA, and HDMI out, and of course the input for 12 volt. So the only thing we need to do is plug this thing in here. So what I love about this thing is like you can plug in the cabling like this. This of course on one player, so we have less cables. But plug it in here, then we have basically, I just not going to screw it down, so it's easier to show you. So then we have one cable for the speaker, so it basically gives you audio. You can also use like the external one for external audio if you want to. We don't need to like the on and off switch, because already like implemented in basically in tiny, like say, jumper. You can remove it, plug it in here, and use the on and off switch at the back. So the configuration can be different for you guys, but again, like, this is plug and play solution, and if you have like one big gap, you can just plug it in, and it's like super easy to do. But Pandora's box can be found in many kind of devices. Think about a game system, a dual player arcade stick that comes in different kind of versions, qualities, and also features. But in the end, when it comes to the Pandora's box, it is more of the same, despite basically having like a different outer shell. I think one of my favorite ones are to play does have like the portable version that comes complete with a portable edition that you can just open up and just basically play your games on the go. It's kinda portable of course, because it's still clunky, but you have all kinds of different versions when it comes to this. But let's look at the main board itself and the menu, because the menu is similar to the Pandora's box number 6 and the DX and basically all of those ones. So this is more like the counterpart when it comes to the Pandora's box jungle. And overall, it's not bad at all, don't get me wrong, but let's get into the settings. Because with the settings, I did see some interesting, weird looking settings. For example, the app module. I've never seen it before. Another thing is like we can adjust the upper USB drive. So what you can do with that basically is like saying if you want to use both for, let's say, the gamepads. So I had the first problem when putting this thing up. They couldn't like basically like use my controller, so I need to implement it in the arcade stick. And we can adjust it over here. But I have like the image enhanced. We're just going to put it on disable. We have a timer. There's so much stuff you can basically change out. And the interesting thing is like we can configure this thing for all kinds of purposes. For example, an arcade machine. But if you want to use like a game box, you have like one joystick, what I'm having now with 3 gamepads. But there are some kind of interesting things like having 2 joysticks and 2 gamepads, or just 4 gamepads. So actually you can use this thing like an game system. So the options when it comes to the joysticks, it's way more better than all the other ones I've reviewed here. Okay, so beside that, it's all the same stuff. The upper USB port already mentioned before. You can even put it for PC. If you use this main board inside, let's say, a Pandora's box, you can use your Pandora's box actually as a controller. It's kind of interesting, something I don't use or not use at all, but it's kind of funny that they give you the option to change that one out. And also the audio output can be changed, something you don't see very often, or this is the first time I've seen it with a cheaper box. Personally, I'm not the biggest fan of this menu, and the reason why, like, don't get me wrong, the search function works perfectly, like it works very fast and I really like it. But when you're looking at a category, it's a little bit messy. You're only having like categories like adventure games, 3D games, fighting games, but you cannot search for, let's say, in certain platforms. Think about NES, Super NES, Mega Drive, they are on here, but you need to find them through all of the, like say, jungle of files. A little bit of a bummer, if you ask me, and a missed opportunity. And also the naming are completely messed up sometimes. The unfortunate thing is, like when you're going to boot up a game, think about a 60-bit game, there is no quick load and quick save. And yeah, I tried the Mame game, and with the Mame game, let's go back with the main menu, and we still don't have a quick load, quick save. We can find it, but it is not like presented every single game. And for example, with PlayStation 1, we do have like quick load, quick save. So what the hell happened on the back end? So in my opinion, it's a big mess. We're starting off with the Mortal Kombat benchmark simply because if you're going to look into some other games like Killer Instinct, they don't run at all because these boards are not powerful enough. But let's take a close look at the first game just to see actually how good it runs. Win. And then we have like the Mortal Kombat number 4. So with the PlayStation 1 we do have like a great performance and overall, but when it comes to controls, I'm using a 6-button layout, and with some games we will have problems with this, because we're needing more buttons. Fight. One of the great examples, if you want to play some Twisted Metal 2, are you having like 6-button layout, at least we need to have like 8 buttons to get every single function to work. So at this point I cannot really shoot rockets. So this game is in my opinion unplayable. But when it comes to Neo Geo Arcade, we do have like great performance. Only this widescreen, but beside that, everything runs pretty damn good. So this Pandora's box does have like a lot of potential, but there are some things that you need to know. And I must say, like when you're looking at the PCB, it's clear that they're trying to make these things cheaper and cheaper. And I mean, like when you're looking at the cases, not only that, but also like the PCBs, they are completely different. So where I've shown you like a couple of those, let's say Pandora GT models or other versions that have like just an Android box in the inside, they are creating these unique, like brand new, let's say, PCBs that you can just actually like see that they're using old specs, but they create something new out of it. But let's open it up, let's remove the 4 screws. But let's open it up, and for the people familiar to the Pandora jungle, normally we have like this big gigantic PCB. You can see like clearly they make them cheaper. It's kind of funny, you can even see like the pins are like, or basically a piece of the plastic of the connection is even like going over the PCB, like giving you an idea like how small these things are getting. So also kind of weird, like we have like this very tiny, let's say, cooling block with an active fan on it. So that is something they're trying to change out. We have like a lot of capacitors on this thing, more than usual. What I do like about this main board, we have like the connection over here, so if you have like dual player, like you have these dual player devices with 2 screens like bar tops, you can implement it in here, or having like a single screen, so you can use this thing in let's say an arcade machine and plug and play, 2 player, 1 single player, like Pandora's box, or you can use it in a portable version, so that is very positive with this. So let's remove this thing. And let's take a close look at the CPU, or as I said, the chip itself, because there was something I've noticed, like not only the configuration of the PCB is different, completely different and cheaper made, it also like here we're showing it like shows the ROG chip 3128 Lite or something like that. It's kind of interesting. So we do have like different chips they're using now, so that is also very cool. Okay, so let's put these things in here and let's remove the fan. Let's see if I can remove it by hand. These things can be very tight. Okay, that's the first one. There's the second one. And let's see. And indeed, they are using the ROG chip nowadays. The ROG chip RK3128. I will put in here like the overall, let's say, specifications. I don't know, just to be honest, I don't know how it is with these ROG chips always. Because it's kind of interesting to see they're like moving on with different chips. Maybe because of the chip shortage nowadays I'm making this video, or they just finding cheaper solutions. But that's basically what we're going to get. We don't have like a lot of cooling in here. But that's it. That's what we're going to get with this new Pandora's box or beta set. It's a little bit older version, but also like a completely different configuration. So when you're looking at the overall performance of this thing, it's nothing like interesting when you're looking at all the other Pandora's box we have reviewed here on the channel. But they are making them way cheaper now. Like when you're looking at the price you're paying for this one, particularly when you're looking at the original DX, yeah, we do have like significant differences with the pricing. You also see like the chips, they're trying to be a little bit different with the chips itself. Yeah, nevertheless, yeah, we do have like the same performance. Let me know in the comments what do you think of this solution. Thanks for watching, consider subscribing, and it would be great to see you in the next video.